Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing the Cozy Coffee Mug tag. This is an original tag that was just created by Jen at Literary Love 123, and I was tagged by my friend Bad is Rad. I went over to watch Jen's original video after Bad is Rad tagged me, and I noticed that Jen she has these really cool coffee mugs, and she was encouraged by subscribers to create a tag around her coffee mugs. So each one of the prompts in this tag actually came from a different coffee mug that she has featured in some way on her channel. So I don't have all these different coffee mugs, but I thought I would join in and just bring one to today's video. And this one says, "A wise woman once said, 'I'm outta here,' and she lived happily ever after." And a dear friend and young colleague gave me this when I retired from teaching, and it just says on the other side, "Enjoy your retirement, Pat." So this is a favorite coffee mug of mine, and I love this idea, Jen. Okay, so again, each of these prompts is based on something on a coffee mug of Jen's. So number one is Hex the Patriarchy. Share your favorite women authors. So I brought a couple, and I've talked about all of these in different videos. One of my favorite mystery authors is Louise Penny, and I certainly have. I haven't read all 18 or 19 of the books in this series yet, but I'm getting there, and I definitely buy everything that she writes. I've also talked frequently about Toni Morrison. She has been a favorite author of mine, a favorite female author of mine for a very long time. Louise Erdrich, I've been reading her for a long time also. And I just talked about her in a video that I made the other day, Maggie O'Farrell. So those are some of my favorite female authors. Number two, never underestimate a woman who reads Stephen King books. Share your favorite fictional women characters. Well, on Jen's video and on Bad's video, they both did female characters in Stephen King novels. I haven't read enough Stephen King novels to have too many favorite female characters. The only one that I could think of is Carrie White. This was the first novel that he published. It was the first novel that I read by Stephen King, which I read it the year that it was published, and I reread it this year for Horror Mayhem, and to acknowledge the 50th anniversary of Carrie. But I have a lot of favorite female characters in other books that I read. Certainly one of my very favorite, all-time favorites is Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. Margaret Simon from Judy Blume's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And I think that Margaret is an important female character to a lot of women, and because she was an important character when we were very, very young women. Then I would say Janie Crawford in Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God, another favorite female character. Okay. Number three, Edgar Allan Poe. Share your favorite Gothic book or story. Well, I have two here, Frankenstein and Dracula, and I have them in one volume here, also with an introduction by Stephen King. And Wuthering Heights is a favorite Gothic novel. This is one of my favorite novels of all time, but it also fits into the Gothic genre. So Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. Okay, number 4, Swiftea. Name your auto-buy authors. Authors where you automatically buy whatever they have written. Well, one is Amor Towles. I have everything that he has ever published. This is his newest book, Table for Two, and it's actually a collection of stories. But I think I started with him with the Lincoln Highway, and then I went back and I read A Gentleman in Moscow and Rules of Civility. And this is the new book that came out this spring. Also, another auto-buy author for me is John Irving. I've been buying and reading John Irving novels since I was a teenager. The newest book that came out last year is this gigantic tome, The Last Chairlift. I think I probably do have all of his books. I didn't bring them all down. Another book I've talked about frequently, John Irving's A Prayer for Owen Meany. Another one, Until I Find You. But he has many, many novels, and as soon as I hear that something's coming out from John Irving, I buy it. Okay. Number 5, Camp Crystal Lake. Share a book that makes you feel nostalgic. Well, this will come as no surprise to anyone. Probably the book that makes me feel the most nostalgic, and the book that I've been reading over and over again for the longest period of time, is J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye, which I read for the first time in 1973. So I've been reading this for over 50 years. And this makes me nostalgic for a lot of things. It makes me nostalgic for teaching, because this is a book that I taught when I taught 10th grade American literature. But it's also a book that makes me nostalgic for my youth, because I've been reading it and rereading it for so long. And it had such a powerful impact on my life when I was 13 and read it for the first time. I would also say that Jane Austen in general makes me feel nostalgic. And it's not any one particular time in my life. I've also been reading Jane Austen for a very, very long time, and just her different, all of her novels just remind me of the first time that I read them. They remind me of being a teenager. They remind me of being a college student. So anything by Jane Austen kind of tends to give me a nostalgic feeling. Okay, number 6, Happy Halloween. Share a holiday-themed book that you recommend. Well, for this, at first I thought I should have a Halloween-themed book, because that's what the prompt is, Happy Halloween. And so for that, I recommend Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. And this book takes place during the Halloween season. In fact, at the very beginning of the novel, we're told that it was October, and we're told that it was that it actually starts on October 24th. One strange, wild, dark, long year, Halloween came early. One year, Halloween came on October 24th, 3 hours after midnight. So that was one. But then when I was looking at Jen's video, I saw that she said that it didn't have to be a Halloween book, and she talked about other holidays. So I thought I would also bring a couple of books that are holiday themed. Another mystery writer that I like a lot is P.D. James, and this is a collection of stories, The Mistletoe Murder. So that was one, and another series that I enjoy is the Stephanie Barron Jane Austen mystery series, and this is one that I particularly love. And this is Jane and the 12 Days of Christmas. This is a book that also gives me a nostalgic feeling too. So it's holiday themed, and there's some nostalgia there as well. Okay, and number 7, this mug contains magic. Share a book you enjoyed that is outside of your comfort zone or typical genre. Well, I've been talking a lot in videos for the past several months about my exploration of new genres since I have become a booktuber. And the first new genre that I explored, and this was actually before I started the channel, it was when I was simply watching YouTube, BookTube for about a year, and I discovered Michael K. Vaughan and his science fiction starter kit. And I discovered through him Edgar Rice Burroughs' Barsoom series, the Mars series. So this was my first foray into science fiction. Edgar Rice Burroughs' A Princess of Mars. And then I went on to read the entire series. And then the other genre that I have been dabbling in ever since Horror Mayhem is horror. And the author that was introduced to me by MJ at Reading This Life is T. Kingfisher. And the book she recommended was A House with Good Bones. And I loved it. And I've read now 5 additional novels by T. Kingfisher. She is quickly becoming an auto-buy author for me, I think. So, but these are 2 genres, science fiction and horror, that I have sort of stepped out of my comfort zone into, and I have just had a great deal of fun, and I have really loved everything that I've read in both of these genres. Okay, and that's the tag. Number 8, tag some bookish friends. Well, this is a delightful tag, and if you're watching this and you would like to do this, please consider yourself tagged. I'm also going to name some people. In addition, as I always do, some specific channels. Beyond Books, Through the Pages with D, Genre Books, Stuart Griffin, MJ at Reading This Life, Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics, Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, Jess Book Girl TV, David Novak Reads Poetry, My Messy Bookshelf, Joshua Crebo Reads, Ellen Made Book Club, Books and Bocadillos, and Melinda at A Web of Stories. And anybody else who's watching this, if this appeals to you, if you'd like to do this, let's spread this cozy coffee mug tag around. Okay, as always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.